All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's your practice test. So, number one, find the radius r of the circle and then round your answer to the nearest tenth. So if you recall, we had that the arc length is equal to the measure of the central angle. In this case, it's the measure of arc PN over 360 times 2 pi r. All right, so on this one here, let's look at everything we know. Sorry about that. You're only looking at my mouth. So we know the arc length is 2.3. We know that the measure of arc PN is 120 over 360. And then we have times 2 pi, and we don't know what r is. R is our unknown. So remember, on this here, I'm just going to simplify it for you. I can make that be reduced to 1/3 times 2 pi times r. All right, so if you think about it, you're going to multiply both sides by 3, right? And then you're going to divide both sides by 2 pi. Because that's going to make those go away, that's going to make those go away. So r is equal to 3 times 2.3 and divided by 2 pi. Plug that into your calculator just like that. And remember, I warned you to use pi. Don't use 3.14. Use your pi button. So if you did that, and again, I'm just going to go to 4 decimal places for you so you can see that I have 1.0981. Oh, but wait, what do they want us to do? They want us to go to the nearest tenth. So we would say that is equal to 1.1. All right. Number 2, find the arc length of arc AC and round your answer to the nearest tenth. So on this one here, what they did is they gave you the diameter. So remember, the diameter is twice the radius, or the radius is half the diameter. So if we do that, we'll have 7 divided by 2, which is 3.5. So again, using our formula that we just saw, that the arc length is equal to, well, we just said it's the one that they asked for. Find the arc length of arc AC. So remember, AC is this one right here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get confused. Read the directions carefully. All right? So if it's that one there, remember, a semicircle is 180 degrees. So you know that this central angle has to be 150. Okay? Since we know that is 150 over 360 times 2 pi, and this time our radius is 3.5. All right, so again, you can plug it in like that, or you can notice that you have matching zeros here. Matching zeros go away. So you could write 15 over 36. So you plug all of that into your calculator. Again, I'll go to 4 decimal places for you first. That'll be 9.1630. And again, they said to go to the nearest tenth. So if you go to the nearest tenth, you'll get approximately 9.2. And again, if you notice, they're giving you the units there already. So we're good there. Okay. Number 3, a bicycle tire has a radius of 13 inches. To the nearest inch, how far does the tire travel when it makes 6 revolutions? So remember, the circumference, oops, putting that on the wrong one, aren't I? The circumference is equal to 2 pi r. All right? So one way around the whole circle would be 2 times pi times 13. All right? And how many revolutions is it going to make? Well, we're going to do our circumference, think about it, 6 times. So we're going to put in 6 here. We're going to plug that into our calculator. And on this one here, it says to the nearest inch. So we would say that equals 490 inches. All right. Number 4. Find the area of the smaller sector formed by NMP. So here's our angle, right? So that they want us to find the salmon colored area. Okay. So we find the salmon colored area. Remember the sector area is equal to, again, the central angle over 360, and this time times, sorry, I'm going to start to write what I had, times pi r squared. All right, if we work that out, we got 40 over 360. Right away, I'm hoping they're saying, hey, there's matching zeros there. Okay, and then we have pi times our radius is 12 squared. And if I plug all of that in, I'll get 50.2657. This time they're asking you to go to the nearest hundredth. Be careful there, ladies and gentlemen. All right, read your directions carefully. The hundredth would be this one right here. So we see we have a 5 there. So we'll round up to 50.27. Number 5, find the volume of the prism. Remember, volume is equal to capital B, which is the area of the base, times the height. Remember, the base is the one that is parallel. So if you look at it, your base is this trapezoid here because, again, you have it in the back here, and it is parallel. All right? So remember, for the area of a trapezoid, so we're going to find the area of that base. Remember, it's 1/2 the sum of the two bases. So again, this is going to be 5 here. So it's going to be 5 plus 8. And then remember, on this, our height is 6. All right? You work that out, you'll get 39. So then our volume is the area of the base, which is 39, times the height. This time now the height there is this one here in between the two. So that's going to be 9. And if you work that out, you get a nice number, 351. Again, it'll be cubic centimeters. But again, they're telling you that already. Okay, number 6. A sculpture in the area of a square pyramid is in the shape of a square pyramid. Excuse me. The sculpture has a height of 6 meters and a volume of 50 cubic meters. So find the area of the square base. So on this here, remember, the volume of a pyramid is equal to 1/3 the area of the base times the height. Okay? So on this one here, we're going to have 50 is equal to 1/3. We don't know what B is, but we know that the height is 6. All right? So if you want to think of it this way, let's go ahead and simplify this one. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. So we'll have 50 is equal to 2 times B. All right? or B, which is the area of the base, we're not done when we've got this answer, is equal to 50 divided by 2, which is 25. Now remember, the base, all right, is equal to the sides squared. So we can say, let's say s squared, because that's the sides. So we're going to say that s squared is equal to 25. So we know that s is equal to the square root of 25, or 5. So here's our answer. Number 7, find the volume of the composite solid. So remember, I told you I like to call these different ones. I like to call this one V1. I like to call the other one V2. All right. And remember, the total, so V total, is equal to V1 plus V2. So if we take the volume of the first one, again, it's 1/3 the base times the height, the area of the base times the height. So on this one here, what's nice is it's a square pyramid, so it's 8 times 8, or 8 squared. Which will equal 128 when you plug it in. The volume of the second one, again, if it's a box there, you can say the base there, or remember on a rectangle or square or that kind of prism, it's length times width times height, if you want to think of it that way. So we're going to say length times width times height, which will equal 8 times 8 times 10, which will equal 640. Again, if I add those up, I'll get 768. Remember, volume is always cubed, but they're already telling you it's cubic meters. Number 9, find the volume of a basketball with a diameter of 9.5 inches. Round your answer to the nearest hundredth. Remember, a basketball is a sphere, so your volume is going to be 4/3 pi. Let me make that 3 a little better. Pi r cubed. So you can say that V is equal to 4/3 pi. And remember, it gave you the diameter, so you can either divide it by 2 first, or you can just plug it in like that. Cubed, all right? So if I do that correctly, I'll get 448.9205. So again, they say on this one to the nearest hundredth. So we're going to say it's 448.92 inches cubed, or cubic inches. Number 9, find the composite solid. So again, we have V1, we have V2. So remember V1 is equal to 1/2, because it's half of a sphere, okay? So it's half of the volume of a sphere. In this case, our radius is 4. And if you plug that in, you'll get 134.0413. Second one, okay, is a cylinder. So it's the area of the base times the height. So on this one, the area of the base is pi r squared. And what's our R? It's 4 times our height, which is 12, which will give us 603.1858. And then, so our V total then is going to be 737.2271. And again, they're asking us to go to the nearest hundredth, so that's the second one. So that will equal 737.23. And again, this one's centimeters cubed. Okay. Man, this is pretty easy, people. Let's see here. Number 10. Now, this will be the hardest one. So remember, the volume of a pyramid is 1/3 the base, again, capital B, because we're talking about the area of the base, times the height. In this case here, let's go ahead and change it to a different color. Our base is going to equal 1/2 the apothem times the perimeter, or 1/2 the apothem times, remember, it's n, which is the number of sides, times the length of this side. All right? So now remember, the apothem goes from the center to one of the sides, to the mid of it. So if we look here, ladies and gentlemen, I can draw a triangle there, okay? And remember, this right here would be 60 degrees. So here, let's go ahead and bring it out here. So this would be 60 degrees. But again, the apothem bisects it, so I only need 30 of it. This here is a right angle, so then this one here is 60. So on this one here, remember, it's a special right triangle. And then half of it would be here. So to find our h, okay, remember this is a, this is 2a, this is a times the square root of 3. Okay, so that is telling us a is 1.5. So the height here, or our apothem, is equal to 1.5 times the square root of 3.
1 moment. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you?
Sorry, I don't want her to talk to us. So if we look at that, again, our volume is going to be 1/3, okay? The base, go ahead and see if I can make this look nice. It's going to be 1/2. The area of the apothem is 1.5 times the square root of 3 times 3, which is the whole side length, and it's 6 sides. And you can plug all of this in there if you want like that. And then it's going to be times the height. Well, the height here is 8. All right. And if you plug all that in, ladies and gentlemen, you'll get 62.3528. And again, this time they want us to round it to the nearest tenth. So if I do that, I'll get 62.4. And that'll be inches cubed. All right, number 11. Now on this one here, you just kind of have to think here. So you are building a curio cabinet in the form of a rectangular prism that must be 60 inches tall with a volume of 7,200 cubic inches. The length and the width must be less than 3 feet. less than 3 feet is, again, everything else is in inches here. So we know that 3 feet is equal to 36 inches. Okay? Which of the following dimensions are the possible width and length of the cabinet? So remember, volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. Okay? And we know that our base is equal to our length times our width. Okay? And we know that our height, okay, is 60 inches. Right? And that our volume here, let me change that. That doesn't look nice. And I'm not going to redo it. So we know then that our volume is equal to our base, which is L times W, times our height, which is 60. And we know that our volume has to equal 7,200 cubic inches. So again, if I take that, I know that L times W is going to be 7,200 divided by 60, which will give us 120, right? So our length times our width has to equal 120, okay? Well, 3 times 40 is 120, but remember, we just said it has to be less than 3 feet. Well, that's 36 inches, so that one doesn't work. 6 inches times 20 inches, well, that's 120, so that one will work. 7 times 16, that's 112, so that one won't work. And 9 times 13 is 117, so that one doesn't work. And 10 by 12, that one works. Okay? So again, read the directions carefully, because I know if you put in the third one, it's going to mark it all wrong. Okay? And then your last problem, I believe, if I'm right here. Yep. So your last problem is, again, another composite solid. So on this one here, a hockey team orders 12 wooden pedestals to mount their brass trophies on. The design of the pedestal is shown below. The team is charged 8 cents per cubic inch of wood. What is the total cost of the order, rounded to the nearest dollar? So again, remember, we can say that V sub t is equal to V sub 1 plus V sub 2. Okay. V sub 1 plus V sub 2. Remember, V sub 1, the volume of a cone is 1/3 pi r squared times h. All right. On this one here, then we'll say it's 1/3 pi times our radius is, well, if I look at this is 10 here, so I know I can go 10 there, but a radius would only be half of that, so it's going to be 5 squared times the height, which is 7. And if you work that out, you'll get 183.2596. And then V sub 2 is again length times width times height, which will be 10 cubed, which is going to equal 1,000. All right. If you take all of that, you are going to get, let's see, 1,183.2596. Okay, that's for one of them. All right. How many of them do you have here? You have 12 of them. All right. And how much are they going to charge you? That's the cubic inches right there. How much are they going to charge you? They're going to charge you 8 cents. So you're going to multiply that also by 0.08 or 8 cents. And when you do that, let's see, what is it to the nearest dollar? So if you work that out, okay, you will get $1,136. Okay, so the test should be very similar, ladies and gentlemen. The key, use the pi button, read the directions carefully, all right? I will give you a little leeway on the rounding, okay, but not a lot, So good luck to you tomorrow, and Friday if you need it. Thank you.